12 hours after doing another episode of Gamer Takes, episode 20. We're in episode 24 now, talking about the dark side of gaming. Now, there's two sides of life, good and bad. There, there's a good side in gaming. There's two sides too. It's like life, good and bad. We're going to talk about the negatives since a lot of my episodes, a lot of the topics I've covered in the past were focused on negatives, in specific video games, specific topics. And now I kind of want to focus on overall gaming and kind of general. This is could be a political topic, maybe. But we're gonna let our guest introduce himself, and I'm gonna get through it.
Yes, hi. My name is Nas, Psycho UK Nas 666. I've been part of the Xbox community for since I know myself really. I always been playing Xbox. I had two PlayStations, Pros, but there's no community for them. Is what I found. I want to thank Viper's M for inviting me to do this. This is my first podcast. A lot of people have been reaching out, but I always would do night shift, so now I have a few days off, so I can get involved in this topics.
Oh, that's nice. So first thing I'm gonna talk about is something that's not really. We're gonna ask two opening topic questions. First thing is, what is your role as an Xbox ambassador? And the one I have written down, I noticed you were Xbox ambassador, and said, "Oh, that's cool." And the next thing is, if you were the leader of a political movement in real life, what would be the cause you would lead in? And that second question, that's your choice if you want to answer it or not. Um,
Um, as an ambassador, usually our roles as ambassadors is to help people who have issues with Xbox hardware games, if they have any errors popping up, and people before it was much easier to actually do the ambassador role because there was like a chat you can actually directly communicate with the customers or the people who needs the help. That is one side of the ambassador program. The other side of the ambassador program is obviously promote equality, you know, and gaming in general for everyone, and just being part of the community that helps gamers to play games and enjoy games which are, in the end of the day, we all play games for release stress, maybe, day-to-day struggles, community, so we all need some help sometimes. That's
how
basically
long have you
what the
been a
Ambassador
part of
program
the
is. I've been part of the
like how
program
long?
since it was a beta, so
Wait,
about 7 years.
so 2012, 2013,
Yeah,
2011, some sort.
2012.
And also we got the political movement question.
Um, can the,
Again, it's your
I mean,
choice.
I mean, I mean, no, I don't mind answering. The thing is, the political movement that I would create would be all community gaming political movement that would not put up with all these console wars and all this. My console is bigger than yours and all that, right? Because in the end of the day, we all play games for the sake of playing games. If your console is better than mine, good for you. But in the end of the day, it's a plastic box that we all play games on.
Well, I think a political movement I think I would have lead was kind of not related to gaming. Again, it's interesting. Yeah, you don't you.
No related to gaming.
Oh yeah, sorry. That's what I meant by that question. I didn't mean by like I said real life. I'm not
Okay. So
gaming
if
life.
I
Sorry.
am, if it will be, so I live in England. I'm originally from Bulgaria myself, but I've been living in England for the past 12 years, and so I would be probably a leader of a young movement, as we do have a Green Party, it's called in UK. They're young people who basically want to make sure that everyone is good, as in all the young people are looked after and they have a reasonable lives and prosperity in future after they finish their education. So that kind of thing I would do.
If I was kind of the leader move, I think it'd just kind of be climate control. Like I think with global warming, because and like anything with plastics, like again, it sucks that we're living in a society where plastics are, it's the one material that is killing the world that you can't ever reuse, and it's been growing and growing, and oceans been getting destroyed. You see these clips of turtles getting caught
Yeah,
with like
exactly.
nets,
I've seen some
and
really horrible things on the internet, with like like to a point like you were saying, if it's global warming, the global warming has been made since I don't know since the dawn, I suppose, of humanity. Like all the people who back in the day were fighting on the ships and you know all the garbage and corpses and whatever, from people that have died, that's been piling up, piling up, piling up. But yeah, I completely agree with you. Like global warming it's a big issue. It's an issue that it will continue till we all realize that we need to stop being those bad people and throwing things on the floor when there's a bin next to you.
it's kind of not, well, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Yeah, make sure the trash ends up in the right place. But I think just kind of the plastic consumption being a hazard, like especially there's other options, like it has been getting improved. They've been coming with new methods, but it hasn't been really fully worldwide developed. Like especially one object that is really noticeable is straws. You cannot reuse a straw,
Yeah.
and that's the fortunate thing. I don't, maybe just clean it out and maybe find a way to do it. But no, you can't reuse it. It gets thrown out immediately. Even what I noticed is, um, my parents told me like I never, if they put a straw in my drink, I have to use it. Whatever. It's too late. But if they give me a straw that I can, puncture out, um, you know, I don't use it. Like it's wrapped in paper and all that.
Yeah.
I try not to use it. Now I realize that the straws the waitresses, waiters give you, they get thrown out even if it's not used.
Oh wow. That's a
And
waste. That's really bad.
I don't know. It was I think it was because my parents work in the hospital, but I don't know if what it's like in restaurants and all that.
Well, I
But
I
if
work
that's
in
like,
a I work in a casino,
oh, okay.
and in our casino we have a bar, and so at our bar since about I don't know if you heard, but there was like introduced a new law in UK about paper straws.
Oh yeah, that's been
So
coming up.
yeah, so we all have paper straws at my place where we work at our bar, basically. And in UK, it's becoming much more common now to have a paper straw instead of like like a plastic straw. And
Sure.
are trying to obviously, you know, do their bit. I've seen McDonald's in my local town, where I live in Plymouth in UK. Um, McDonald's using paper straws as well. So maybe my city is one of the lucky ones because we're by the ocean as well. So I suppose people are caring more about the sea environment and sea creatures and you know all the maritime and ecology, I suppose.
Yeah. I think one thing that's, again, paper straws is just kind of one annoying things, but I think that thing that's really causing like people know about is like the plastic bags. Some U.S. states have banned plastic bags, but not heavy. Like, but it's still, some states haven't even banned the banning of plastic bags. So it sucks right there that that has become like a big issue. Where you know plastic is taking over our planet. But they've been trying to, biodegradable plastic hasn't been that impactful yet.
Yeah,
But hopefully, kind of with how society is and knowing the effects of the planet, if you want to keep this planet running, you have to do this, that, especially with how populations handling it. Like, with your population growing, you have to find a way to stop this plastic madness to happen. But again, we don't we have to figure it out soon.
Do you guys have to pay for your plastic bags when you go
No, we
grocery
don't.
shopping?
No,
Well, we
it's
do
free.
now because again of the whole situation with the global warming. When we go to the shop, again that's the new law that came out paper with the paper straws I was mentioning earlier. You
Yeah.
have to pay like 5 pence basically for a bag or 10 if you know what I mean. And they're all made of biodegradable materials now. Most of the shops, big shops, chains like supermarkets and like a cheap supermarkets and all that, they use degradable
Yeah,
bags.
so
Yeah. And you can buy like a bag for life, which is like made of obviously like like a straw kind of things. I don't know. It's
yeah,
very
they do
handy
have
because
those.
yeah. So bag for
You bring those to the store. Like you
exactly.
have, like we have, like grocery stores kind of use this. Like you have these like bags and them made of plastic, reusable, can, very thick material, and you
Yeah.
can like bring in the store. You use it as that bag instead of having to get plastic bags every time. But it makes sense, yeah. So we're gonna get into the main topic now, which is dark side gaming. So swatting has been well known the past couple of years with callers anonymously placing fake threats to players online, causing the SWAT to come to the house. Do you think with the amount of massacres we have had in the last couple of years, uh, and do you think with the amount of massacres we have had could cause more lethal SWAT raids from fake phone call threats?
The swatting thing, right? In UK, I just want to compare both sides basically. So in the States, obviously I was very surprised to find out that it's like the SWAT team will be just called in and just they would just go and just burst doors down and don't ask questions, just shoot you, right? Um, but in UK, everybody will make a research on the place first of all. They will trace IP addresses, obviously make the research, and they would not just go in, if you know what I mean, because obviously that all
Yep.
costs resources as well. So I don't know how people are paid or to just go in and burst the doors down, if you know what I mean. So I think it's horrible. I think it should not happen, especially in the gaming environment. I think just people should, you know, just don't be that person to do that to someone. It's horrendous, and I think it's wrong. And I have read about a few cases that people have passed away because of that. And yeah, I don't think it's right. I think swatting it should be banned. The person that is actually making the call should be traced and prosecuted.
That was one recent, I think, one that made natural national headlines was a case in, I think, Wichita, Kansas,
Yeah.
where you heard about that one. So
Um.
I
um
kind of explained to that.
yeah. Actually,
It was Call of Duty.
I have I have I don't know the whole story, but I've heard that it was quite bad. I mean, there was a few weeks ago. I don't know if you follow Tonzi, the streamer Tonzi.
No, never heard of him.
So there was a accident. I think he was talking about that a particular, story, and because it was like on the internet, he found an article and he posted it. So I suppose it's about that accident that was recent.
Oh, it was a different. I didn't. No, it was back like Call of Duty World War II, so I'll explain the situation.
Oh, okay.
That's
Oh,
diff
okay.
That's interesting. Yeah, sorry, it's different, but well, interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of add that point up. So this happened. So there was game battles, 1v1s, all that. It was wagers,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and that happened. He didn't. So the kid, I think the kid lost. The kid who won his money, and he wanted that $1. It was a $1 deal.
Okay.
Very very cheap
Very cheap, yeah.
here.
Because especially with some
So he
wagers I've
got
seen
so he
on
got pi-
internet.
yeah. So he got really pissed that he didn't get his $1. Which, you know, if I didn't get paid for that $1, you know, I would be angry, but I wouldn't take it that far. So this
Yeah.
dude also had history with swatting people, you know, placing those fake phone call address.
Oh wow.
So this dude he's from California originally,
Okay.
and the guy he was playing was from Kansas. So what happened was, you know, called the guy, found his IP address, called a phone threat towards the Wichita, Kansas police department,
Okay.
and decided, okay, there's I don't know, there's a threat at the house. I don't remember the what threat it was, because
Yeah.
so that happened, and his dad noticed that something came out. You know, there was SWAT outside, so his son and the dad went outside, and what happened was the dad, you know, put your hands up, all that, you know, normal police
Yeah,
stuff
the whole
when
like
you're getting
operation kind of thing, like terrorist operation, they're treating it basically.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened, and his dad was holding a phone. The police officers thought it was a gun, and the police officers shot the dad. The dad died, and that, um, you know, couple hours later, maybe a couple days later, they found the dude who, you know, made the kid explain the situation, found the IP address, you know, found the guy who hacked them, or, you know, placed that SWAT call on them, and he
Yeah.
got arrested, and I think he's in jail for a long time. So
And
I think
this
it's
is
just
how it
mostly
should
idiotic way.
be. I think that is how it should be because obviously, you know, this is like I said, there is no need to be so salty or so bad that you lost, you know, sore loser to a point of where you're making someone else's life hell by doing that, you know. And I think they should, before even send a SWAT team, they should actually make the research because, you know, if they have the IP of the person, how long does it take to click 3 buttons and find the information, put the house address, people living there, and everything? Especially with, you know, the technology. Even then, the technology was so developed. You know, they should have made their
True.
research before, not after, because after it was too late.
Yeah, he's already dead.
Exactly.
Like the
Exactly.
dad's already. Yeah, I think that should just kind of be proven. Like if, like again, the thing is with SWAT calls, if that happens, it's an immediate emergency. So that's
Exactly.
why they couldn't do the research. But I think, yeah, it could be done. Like especially if you have time. And like like he's not holding a gun. He like first at least kind of talk to the guy. You know, if you want to, don't shoot him. He's not like he's not gonna pull
Exactly.
the gun at you. It's a random parent. It's not
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
a threat, or just like maybe just in case, you know, if that well, again, SWAT calls on anonymous. You can't really tell. You don't get notified of it, so just come up to your house randomly. But
But
I
that's what I
think
mean.
I
How
don't know.
isn't that like a resources of the, you know, it's a country resources, isn't it? I mean, the government pays for this. It's not like, and the people who pay taxes, you know. I suppose that's how it works. In UK, this is how it
Yeah.
works. I pay tax a lot every month, and you know, and I'm, you know, I'm expecting to be protected by service. Yeah. So resources has been put in to formulate a SWAT team, right? Was there any
Hmm.
like you know, like I said, I don't know about the Uchida case, but isn't it like they have to go through a special training that they to find out that they're mentally stable and there's nothing happening in their checks and all that? Maybe the person who shot
No, they don't do
the
that because they couldn't do that because it was a immediate emergency. They don't have to. They didn't spend time to kind of research what happened, or like and
yeah
like
yeah
maybe if
but
there was a maybe what the son. I'm gonna be honest here. I'm gonna go different. And maybe if the situation could have gotten a lot better if like the son or you know the kid actually called the police knowing that he was gonna get like threat. But again, maybe then the guy didn't mention it.
maybe
Like
that's
at
why
least make
the
this.
his dad was on the phone to the police, maybe, you know.
No, he was holding a phone. Well, at that time, no, he was holding a phone. He didn't call the police. Like he wasn't.
Oh, okay.
how,
He was
yeah,
on
so
the call at the time. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, I
so
think
I
you're
think
right. Yeah, I think you're right.
yeah.
He should immediately, inform the authorities about this situation because, you know, it's end up in like in the worst possible scenario, you know?
But again, it's a hard situation to kind of get on, like talk,
Yeah,
like trying to know this because you don't know what's happening.
exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
but again, this is the most idiotic way. I don't think you should just harm another person's life in a video game. It's not like you've seen a person face to face and all that, like
Exactly.
where you harm him.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly. I
online, like
completely
when.
agree.
Um,
I completely
so
agree.
next thing is heavily portrayed by the media. Do you believe that video games cause mass shootings?
Um, Depends on the person that plays the video games, is what I'm gonna say. Because if the person has some issues that have been happening at home, and obviously, like I said, video games are for everyone, no matter what you're gonna use them for. Stress relief, homes problems, job problems. That's why you have this community around you who is actually, it says, "Hey, what's up? Let's play games." And then you go on the microphone and you start talking to that person, and you kind of share your pain with that person because you feel frustrated or whatever, right? And that's why it depends on the person who plays that games. Because, yeah, some people have mental health issues. I worked myself as well in the care industry for 4 years. I have seen it all. I have looked after people who have a very hard mental health issues, depression, anxiety, to a point of where they don't want to leave their flat. If you try to help them to go to the local shop because they have to, they have to have food, um, they just like start freaking out and like, threatening with violence, and it's just, you know. So, does video games cause mass shootings in America or in general in the
Worldwide. We're
world?
going worldwide. Yeah, we're going
Yeah, in the
worldwide.
world. Um, Yes, but not like mass murdering shootings. Like, yes, there is people who does that, but again, that is down to the mental health. You know, I don't, I have read about a few cases, even back in the day, back in the 80s, I think it was, there was two guys, or the 90s, I'm not sure. I don't know how old are you, but I'm 36,
Wasn't even born
and
yet.
yeah. So basically there was two guys who who were playing video games as well as a kids, together, but they were very very angry at they've been bullied a lot in school, right? So they went on a killing spree in the school and murdered everyone dressed up as basically like people from the Matrix, yeah, like people who
Sure.
they looked after, as in like in the video games, I suppose, the way with the sunglasses, Uzis, shotguns, and all that, right? And they went to the school and they murdered a lot of people because they were just like thinking it's a video game. They said, they even like had like recorded themselves as like, oh yeah, I'm like badass and all that, and like shooting guns and whatnot. And that is due to some their mental health. It's not due to the video games as a video game, because everybody using video games for release of something that, for me, video games is a release of stress. For other people, it's just enjoyment. For third people, it could be like just like streaming is a big thing. So, you know, I do think that some people do stupid stuff with because they don't know how to communicate in real life with with the issues they have. Yeah, some people do that, but not all the people are bad people and do that. You know, Again, down to the person, not to the video game. No matter what game you're playing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't like the ment. It's just I can't really solely blame it on it. because there could be a lot of factors. I would blame being angry at a video game, something bad happening in a video game being one of the causes of why you had this anger. Yeah, like being the sole cause. There's other things, it's mental health. Are you fine? And I can't blame gaming on that. Even with the media portrayal, it's just kind of
Oh, the media. That's what I'm saying. The other thing with the media, like media is like one of the biggest causes that you know that making video games look bad. Yeah. Um. So I don't understand how like there was a case not long ago, as far as I remember, and Mr. Trump, had kind of made a big deal about it. That was after the Fortnite, I think. No, that was
Oh, no, it
after
was
that
after
guy.
I think it was after the
That guy
Parkland
went to
shooting.
this tournament, right? And he just pulled
Oh
up a
yeah.
gun and shoot everyone, basically.
Oh yeah, I
That was
remember that. That was
that was after that. Yeah,
the Madden tournament.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I'm like, so, but obviously this guy, he had mental health issues at the time. They even, I've been, I've been reading articles after the incident and all that, and obviously the guy was like broke up with his girlfriend, and you know what I mean. So he had some issues that caused him to do that. There was no like because he played video games and lost. You know what I mean? Because he was like with his team, right? Esports team. Why would you shoot your own, like, you know what I mean? Like your teammates if there is no like it's something happening in your life,
Actually,
and you
Madden is
decide to
kind of
do
basically a
that.
solo game. There's no teammates with that. But you kind of shooting people who you kind of play against who have the same drive as you, and it just I don't
Exactly,
know, it didn't make sense
exactly.
every
It's
time.
stupid. It's I don't know. Like I said, the particular, but like obviously again, it comes to two topics, right? One is video games, and one is the person, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
because video games, if you play Cuphead, if I play Cuphead, I will be very angry person. Because,
Yeah, it's very stressful.
CGR, what I call it CGR, which stands for compulsive gaming rage. Yeah? which is
Oh yeah,
which is it's a joke, obviously, you know what I mean? But it's not a real thing. But it's it just like, yeah, I rage a lot on Cuphead a lot. It's a very
everybody rages.
very hard game. But again, like I said, it's not the video game you play, it's the person that plays it.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. Just again, you can't blame the game developers. This game was made for enjoyment. It wasn't made like it wasn't made to cause harm or come up with ideas.
Exactly.
Well, again,
Ex
one instance I think was Columbine. If Columbine High School, if you
that's the
kind of heard
one.
about that.
There was that, yeah,
Yeah, they
the
used
Columbine massacre.
Doom. They used the video game Doom to sketch out a high school and
That's
explain the
correct.
attack. That
Those
was
two guys I was talking about, yes.
oh, I didn't know. Oh, yeah, that was the one instance
Yeah.
where it
Those are the two
actually.
guys.
So next, yeah, I'm gonna end the story. I can't blame video games. It's just gonna be based on how the
No.
person is
Exactly.
overall.
That's correct.
So
That
next
is.
question is. Oh, sorry. You can go continue.
No, we're just saying, that's really what it is, really. I mean, it's down to the person, not the game. Because you can play game with unicorns, and what you gotta just go be a magician, like, or a wizard. You know what I mean?
Someone
Like,
said
come on.
So
So,
next question
yep.
that's gonna come up is, with the amount of shitty esports organizations, that have come up in the past, which situation you think was the worst of all of them?
About
If you kind of know, I'll explain the topic. If you don't kind of know anything about the esports, I'll kind of cover a lot
I
of the
do
esports
know.
stuff. If that's
I follow esports people and organizations. You see, um, it's very hard because there is so many, you know. Um, I suppose what happened with that kid from here, from UK, that he apparently, he cheated, and he showed how he cheated on Fortnite. That FaZe guy, yeah.
Someone.
So he was like, they banned him basically, and said, you never go and play Fortnite again. And I was like, why would you cry about it? Like, he's only, what, 14, 16? You know?
Oh,
And he's like, oh,
regardless.
my life is done, and la la la. And I was like, wow, you're 16. I'm 36. And this is your life? Wow, I think I've done something wrong in life myself to get to this age where I'm adult and I have my own I live on the rent, but I pay my rent, I have full-time job, you know what I mean? I've been living in UK by myself for 12 years, you know what I mean? It's like, that kid is like, I'm 16, I live still probably in my home with my parents, and my life is done? What? Please, please, come on. And yeah,
Again, he's hopefully
he
solved it.
should be banned. He should be banned. And if he's showing things that other people can take advantage of, even if it's for the purpose of entertainment, as he mentioned a few thousand million times, you know, he should be banned.
Yeah, I think that situation. Again, I wouldn't call it a ban. I think temporary. Um,
But yeah,
I
yeah.
think,
I
yeah,
mean,
your case.
yeah,
Yeah, that's cheating. That's done. Yeah, I get that. But I think
you
just
know,
because of the personality name around it, and he wasn't like the personality name. Yeah, you shouldn't cheat in a video game, even if you're doing it
no,
for entertainment purposes. Even
exactly,
if it's just for,
exactly,
like, you're not gonna promote it, you're just showing it off.
exactly.
That's kind of where the case goes sour. Like, he isn't. Again, he's cheating to show how it is. He's not cheating like professionally. He's not doing it in competitions. He's not.
Yeah, but
That's been a big thing.
didn't he pre-recorded that when way before he became famous in the
Well,
Fortnite
he was
community.
famous before then. He was
Oh,
like
he
he was known
was?
before then,
I
but
don't know.
yeah, he was in
I
phase
don't
for a long
follow
time. He was
Fortnite
phase for a decent
players.
long time. Yeah,
Okay.
that's.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, yeah, maybe they will lift this situation. They will lift his ban, because in the end of the day, it's all bad media, good media. It's a media, right? So media will make this organization bigger, smaller, whatever. You know what I mean? And as far as I know, FaZe, or whatever this is his organization he's from, right? Um, they're quite big. So good publicity or bad publicity, but it's all publicity in the end of the day. You know.
Do you think after the situation they could have released him from his contract of some sort?
Well,
Because
I
yeah,
haven't.
they have. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest in that situation. Yeah, that's kind of shady for organization to keep a player who has cheated. Again,
Yeah, yeah.
that's there's been instances of that where they done something bad, but they kept them on. One I think one instance was a Fortnite roster back when the World Cup happened.
Okay, yeah.
Where XXIF or Ziff and Ronaldo. That's a duo kind of fed like so they were a duo together and they had guys in the game feed them kills, feed them points because
Well,
again you needed like it was for I think it was a tournament they fed them like the guys landed right where Sif and Ronaldo is. They didn't challenge them for anything. They just killed them immediately, and it looked really odd.
wow. Yeah,
So that
that's
was one
cheating.
instance, and
That is cheating in real life. In real life, you know what
yeah,
I mean? This is bad. Why would people do that? Did he like? I understand. See, I don't want to work my job, right? I don't want to be a receptionist in a casino all my life, right? So if I decide to do this professionally, like playing video games, I would be just I will make my own organization and I'll be the best person ever. You know what I mean? Because like I never cheat. I don't see what is like the whole like why do you have to cheat? If you're good at the game, you're good at the game. If you're not, why don't play it. Don't make it professional. Don't make it money out of it. Obviously, don't go get involved in financial, you know, gain from it. Just don't do it. If you're not good at the game and you're not feeling good about it, why would you play it in the first place? Why would you be so-called professional about it?
Yeah, especially
Simple
you're
as
gonna cheat
that.
with that.
Simple as that.
Actually, the funny part about that story is they cheated. They were part of a organization called Rise Nation. They got dropped from Rise after that incident went kind of public. And then
Well, and they should be.
it was a yeah. And then they got picked up by a different organization after they qualified for the World Cup, Riot Squad. They qualified for the World Cup, like the duo side of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Somewhat legitly this time, but they should have not been in there. They should have gave the spot to someone else because they already had cheating applications in the past, and that's I didn't again. If there's anything again, if I was a owner, I would not pick up like any player who decides to cheat, like has
It
any
has a
history of bad
history. Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I mean,
Like
maybe there's a lot of money has been passed around back behind scenes, in hands to hands for some people, because at the end of the day, you have organizations that make millions and millions out of those players. The managers and all those people, they make the money. The players doesn't make that much money, you know. So maybe there was like some mutual agreement, even if it's been, which who knows? Who knows? We don't know what's happening behind scenes because we just see it on the stream or like on on the telly or whatever on the channels. So you know we don't know what's going on behind scenes.
Yeah, that's the
It's
thing. It's just kind of really hard
it's
to tell. But
sports corruption is a big thing. Yeah, the other day I watched a documentary about cricket fixers, cricket matches fixers.
that also has been a thing with esports too. With Overwatch. I think from what I
Okay.
noticed, there's the Overwatch contenders over Overwatch contenders, which is like you have the Overwatch League, which is franchise.
Yeah.
There's no shadiness with that so far. But with the Overwatch Contenders League, it's like how it is. You have any team joins. There's no, it doesn't matter. You have the best competitive teams. There's no restrictions, no like kind of interesting contracts in there where a set limit. You do get housing and all that. It's just money, money. And there's been a lot of Overwatch contenders. First thing, we kind of talk about the fixing side. So, there's been betters. So Australia, it's about 12 hours ahead from me. I don't probably guessing 7 hours ahead from you. Because it's other side of the world. So they play. So what happens is they have betters in there. They bet
Okay.
for the thing is the Contenders League is pre-recorded.
Okay.
So they play, and then 12 hours later, they get the results from the gameplay, and they bet on it. They bet on the game, although it already
Okay.
has played out,
Isn't that
and they make money
gambling?
off that. Yeah,
Like, not
yeah.
being funny, but I don't think gambling it belongs in any kind of competition-wise gaming in general. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's correct. Like, you know, you shouldn't bet on these kind of things. You should be supporting this kind of thing, I suppose. But I suppose they have to make money somehow to pay and organize the whole thing. So, yeah, I suppose betting works. But it's why
Uh,
would they pre-record? I mean, that sounds
because
wrong.
I don't know why they were pre-recorded because there've been a lot because that's how Australia is. Australia is one of the you got China, you got other country, China,
Yeah,
Europe, you got a lot of scales in NA, but this Australia one is really horrible for esports. Well, at least NA, like they know how to handle esports. So Australia doesn't because they have a lot. Big thing is they're shady organizations. There's been contract issues where I think some players have been I think and also in the Overwatch League where they have a big buyout. So basically, if
Okay.
you want to get traded to another team, you sign a contract, you get a buy.
Yeah.
There's a buyout price for you. The more popular the player, the more known the player, the higher buyer it is for another
Yeah.
organization to pick you up. So that was the case right there, and there's a high buyout. You can't unless you get released from your contract, then that's something there's no buyout.
Yeah.
But usually that doesn't happen. So it's a buyout that happens, and they have a high buyout, but their salary is really low. Like they get paid maybe $800 per month, a thousand
Oh
bucks per
wow.
month
Oh wow.
for
That's
competing
nothing.
in the Contenders League. Yeah,
That
so
is nothing.
that's been a big thing happening in Australia recently, with these contract issues of players getting barely paid, and they get unfair contracts. They have many restrictions, very odd contract, like rules and all that they have to follow. That doesn't really make sense if it was like just say a professional sports contract of some sort. Like again,
Yeah.
esports organizations write up their own contracts, so it can be different from everybody. It's not, maybe if we go with the Overwatch League or the Call of Duty League or the League of Legends, like franchising, like with these franchise leagues that are coming up, their contracts are pretty similar. They do have lawyers beside it. They're very clean. Like they have professionalism around it, so the contracts are not going to be really mediocre or BS based, in cases. But if you go to these organizations, you do write different contracts up, and the owners try to screw you over. It's because the owners want to make the money, not really caring about the players. They just want a legacy, kind of want a legacy behind them, or just want to take make a lot of profit off them instead of not worrying about that and worried about how the team plays and making a reality out of these esports players in Australia.
Yeah.
And
Well,
even the whole Overwatch Contenders League in Australia is kind of shady too.
wow. I mean, like, Overwatch is one of those games I love to play, but just for the enjoyment of the game. You know, I know there's a lot of people who when I play against, it's just you know, they're pros, as they say, you know. But I play for enjoyment, and that is really bad because I comparing to America and the UK, everybody's getting money here, and in America, like no matter how good or bad a player you are, you have like a set salary that makes lots of money. You know what I mean? And with the situation that is happening in Australia, wow, yeah, somebody's banking on basically on kids' life savings. You know, it's not right at all. It's just wrong, so wrong.
There was also back in the day, this is for Call of Duty sites since I play a lot of Call of Duty. There's been an organization that hasn't paid the players twice.
Wow.
It's Denial Esports. They
Okay.
won a Call of Duty World Champion, and they didn't have a lot of funding around them. They shut down because they didn't pay the players, and then they got relaunched back in late 2018, early 2019. They did the same thing. They didn't pay any of the players money. They didn't pay any of the devs. They shut down again,
Wow.
and
Is
that's
that
I think
organization
that
still
was
active?
it's not active anymore.
I was about to
Um,
say they shouldn't be because
they
this
had
is
that
horrible.
was again. They relaunched, trying to pay all the players devs. They didn't even do that. They
Wow.
somewhat did, but they didn't do it for like the current players they picked up from teams and teams and all that because they
Wow.
didn't have enough money. That's been a big thing with esports organizations with money because again, that's money is very important in life. That's a life-changing thing for a young player who's 18, 19, 20, whose job, this is his
Exactly.
job. He's
Exactly.
not going to college. He doesn't have a regular job. This is what he's living off of. And if you screw him up like that, it's really, uh,
It's like ruining their life, really.
yeah,
If you don't pay them money, how would they survive? How would they be able to work for you next time? Why would they work for you if you don't pay them the money?
true.
Simple as that.
So we're gonna kind of get off the esports. Actually, we're gonna I'm gonna go back into. Let me see. I'm gonna go two more. Next question I had was something not relating to esports. We're gonna continue with esports. Even with franchising, franchise leagues, pay money yearly. You don't have relegations and all that.
Yeah,
Even with
like Doctor
franchise being in place for,
Disrespect.
not really. Well, wait, what?
Because,
Sorry.
Doctor Disrespect, because his own franchise himself, basically.
No, not that. It's not. It's kind of esports based. Sorry.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's professional leagues. You know how you got the Premier. In your case, you watch soccer. You got the Premier League. You have relegations.
Yeah.
It's not, and like we have here in the and like here in sports, you have 32 teams. There's no relegations. You can't get out of the league. There's no minor league for that system.
Okay.
That's
So
kind of
it
what I meant.
just, yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. Sorry
Actually,
for interrupting.
Oh, that's okay. Even with franchising being in place for the last 2 years, there has been a turmoil with ownership groups or owners that have cost them big time investments that are supposed to last the last time. Actually, we're not going to answer this question. That's kind of we're going to kind of skip the esports based ones since I have a lot of them on. Actually, do you think the esports scene has been getting worse and worse due to the more serious implication of jobs on the line slash mistreatment among organizations, or you think it's getting better?
Worse and worse? Well, that is a very good question because of what I've seen, and I know what is happening in 2020. I think it's getting better on the business side, obviously. Because bigger events, more money, um, they look like a festivals basically. Yeah, some of them go for 3 days, some of them goes for for like 2 days, whatever. But it's like you go into a festival, you know, like the Call of Duty, especially World Cup thing. Oh my God, that's in the massive stadiums and like millions of people watching. It's crazy. Yeah, it gets bigger, but on the other side of the treatment of the actual players who play for the tournament and the organization that it was supposed to you know pay them the money and make sure they're well looked after, you know that side maybe is getting worse because I've seen a lot of people who are professional players distract in like disconnect from the whole organization. It's just like and just be themselves, you know, like big names. Ninja. He
Yeah.
used to be in the organization, right? And he decided to leave, and look how well he does now. You know, he does very well for what? He's like almost like 5, 6 years younger than me, or more than that. He's like what, in his 20s,
Sure.
and he's a millionaire. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think on that side of way you gotta treat obviously everyone that works for you equally and make sure they're happy. Otherwise, they're gonna leave and be more, you know, they will just be more happy by themselves and make more money. Even because obviously the organization they've been in have made their name and everybody knows them. So if you don't treat people well, they will go and use all this promotion that they have been in the organizations as like in esports in general.
I think that's been a big thing because you remember Tifu had that situation too where I think FaZe was um they were using FaZe's back day
Yeah,
FaZe's popularity was growing because of Tifu, and then there
yeah,
was the contract issues that happened, which we don't know how that is, the lawsuit taking players' money. That was the case. If Tifu kind of didn't have the situation, Tifu will probably be making a lot more money here, especially with how much he's averaging. That was one of the situations where, wow. But again, we don't know what the full scale of that situation is. Maybe Tifu's lying. We don't. Maybe, but we just don't know what's happening with that incident yet. But that was one. I think that was kind of one case where I think some people would kind of rather not do that because again, there's one fallen issue. You know, they join an organization. Yeah, it's a big help, kind of at the start, but you know, if it's a big start, but you know, if you kind of fail on that play, you don't do this, you know, it could have been a waste of time, especially being a long contract that you cannot escape. You know, you can do a lot better by yourself. But again,
Yeah,
that's some people use that organization for popularity, and that's a big thing. Um, and they have one misfault, and especially if you would have sorry, I'm trying to speak here, but
that's
someone who
okay.
is popular like Tfue, using
Yeah,
FaZe as a big leverage for him to gain all his viewers. That was a great thing. But you know, FaZe made a mistake. There's a lot of fans on Tfue's side, and you know, a lot of people would support Tfue and FaZe gets the bad rep for it. So I think just kind of making sure everything's clean on their side, you know, that's gonna
exactly.
be the big
Everything
thing.
to be good, you know, because otherwise, yeah, people will do that. You know, people will leave, and you know, they will use all the resources they already have been made like a name. You know, because you gotta be name in this streaming world. You know, you can start being the smallest streamer in the world, but you know, that will be that. You will have what, thousand followers. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, how would you, you know, if you have no one behind you that have made you name, how would you grow? You know, this is how it is, unfortunately. You need to have people behind your back that can help you out. You know, if you don't want them to help you out, you know, if you then you would never grow and never will be that, you know, that person that everybody
Yeah, that makes
knows.
sense. So next question I have for you is, let me find it. Let me go one. Let me go one more. So I mentioned a specific scandal, the iBuy Power CS:GO scandal that happened back in 2014 was considered was one of the worst game scandals slash esports scandals in history. Do you think we'll see another match fixing scandal again, especially with the bigger prize pools and guaranteed salaries?
Uh, excuse me.
I'll explain the
There
iBuy
will
Power
be
scandal again.
no. I
You
have
want me to
read about
explain?
it. I have read
Oh,
about it.
okay, good.
Okay, the whole Lotto situation and stuff. Yeah, I don't think that is like you know. I don't think that should have been happening initially. There shouldn't have been like, you know, buying all these skins and all that. You know, because why would you do
Actually, it
that?
wasn't lotto based. Well, actually, it could have been lotto based, but I don't. I think it's just
It,
because I think what happened was a third party wanted to pay more money to throw their match. That's kind of what
yeah,
happened.
yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's right. I mean, you know, it was like so if there is a set contract between organizations and, you know, third, like you said, third party, and that organization makes like the bad decision to do the whole situation with like the resigning contracts that they shouldn't, with like other people they already signed contract with, yeah. Why would they sign a, like, you know, if there is not something dodgy is happening, you see? You know, something's wrong there. If they're that desperate to risk all and get exposed because of it, what's like, you know what I mean? It's like they shouldn't be organization in first place. Or signing
The
contracts with
thing is,
anyone.
iPower is like actually a kind of a PC company, and you know these PC, you know, a lot back, you know, back in 2014, you did not make a lot of money on esports. You didn't have these guaranteed salaries yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
again, a lot, but again, there's been betters, you know, talking about betting. That's been really popularized in the last few years. You know, you got you know Betway, CS:GO. Well,
yeah,
CS:GO
yeah,
Lotto is
yeah,
kind of based off skins, but they were
yeah.
not. I don't think they were trained skins. But you have these, you know, it's been a big thing in Korea. I think with I think from the StarCraft community or League of Legends. I don't know what one,
I think
where
it's
they
League
have
of Legends
these.
you're on about, yeah.
Yeah, League of Legends, where they people got arrested for it because of these legal, you know, with these guys match fixing and you know putting money in the line to throw a match.
Yeah.
And again, that's been a big thing.
Yeah,
in the
but
last couple.
people,
You
there
know,
will
it hasn't
always
been
be
promised these last
someone
couple years.
who will do that, I suppose, you know, because like I said, if you're popular, people will pay you money, and you know, people will pay you money, and you know, it will just follow you everywhere, and you'll make more money, yeah. But and if you want to become a popular person, I suppose you have to do some, you know, for me, if I want to be popular, and if I want to like become, this will become my, you know, my income. This is how I'm gonna work all my life till I die, whatever, or retire from gaming. I will just be try to get better at games I play. This is my personal, you know, like this will be me. I wouldn't go and start bribing people and, you know, throwing money here and there because, you know, in the end of the day, not everybody have all that money that they're throwing around, you know. And again, there is a behind the scenes situation happening with the managers talking to different people, organizations, and making empty promises that they have to somehow make money for those promises, if you know what I mean. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. It's like it's all dodgy, you know. It's anything to do with money, no matter what kind of money will make you, and from whatever product slash service, whatever you do, there's always a dark side of that. Like there's like always like the underground. It's been like this since the 60s. Yeah, 50s,
Actually, I'm
60s.
gonna add on that. I have a different question, kind of relates to betting, but we can like just answer this. How could you fix the betting system in like video games, like not esports setting and like also video games, but
Um,
mostly in esports setting?
if I had the power, I would have actually made sure that the people that are involved in the betting system in general, uh, you know, they have a history of being organization and being there, as in like, you know, they have a history of business with like, you know, a few years at least, and has been like no, you know, like bad things against them before. There's no history of like they've been cheating and all that. And you know, that this is how I'll fix it. I'll choose organizations that are, you know, no bad history behind them, or businesses. You know what I mean?
Just find a like, make sure like, make sure they have like they have like, make sure you check
Fair
out those businesses.
play.
Make sure,
Yeah,
yeah,
have a
make sure
fair
they know
play.
what to do.
Exactly,
Makes sense.
exactly. Because
I don't know how you can really.
otherwise,
Oh, sorry.
otherwise, why would you work with people who you don't know nothing about? You know?
So you go with trusted companies. One that has been blowing up, been really known in the last couple years, I think, is Betway. They're
Okay.
sponsored by a lot of sponsored by like a lot of organizations. I got executed. Um, but they're a really trusted organization. They do a lot of betting. They pay out clearly. But I think they, because they're a well-known name, you can trust them as a betting source. But I think kind of going with, you know, it's gonna be hard for new betting systems to be in place. Um, you know, if you want to start a betting site or anyone wants to start, it's gonna be hard to be trusted because again, it involves money on the line. It's gambling. You have to, I think, just kind of eliminate, like making sure you know what to do. Regards to money, you know, you have experience in financial business, knowing how to handle gambling if there's ever an issue with it. Especially with how big esports is, you know, there's a lot of money on the line a lot of times.
Yeah.
Just
Is that
just make
Betway
sure
you
the betting
said,
company's
yes?
clean. Yeah, it's been,
Yeah, yeah, that's
that's one
that
company
is,
now.
yeah, that is a organization and company I will go with because they have not only, you know, they've been in this industry since the 90s, I think, 2000s maybe early, but they've been long time. And you know, yeah, as every single, like I said, I work in a casino. My casino I work in, there was a they had case against them from someone who was apparently intoxicated and came in, lost money, and sued him for losing money. Obviously, that guy didn't win because there's cameras and everything in the casino. But you know, in every organization, businesses and all that, you're always gonna have someone who's not happy with you. Again, money are a big factor for people to go and sue people for no particular reasons. You know.
Also, kind of going back to kind of betting, like kind of the match fixing and betting with that. I think with the guarantee, those big price pools and the salaries, I think we're gonna kind of see a decrease in that. I think with franchising into place, you already have that set salary, that contract already. I don't think we'll see an issue with that, but I think if the league isn't franchised, like franchised in any way, there could be a big problem there, in some sort. Like I think again CS:GO has been the game, but if you go to like any other small esports game, it could be kind of a issue where you can have these scandals happen. Overwatch, yeah, you mentioned about Overwatch contenders.
Yeah.
Those minor leagues for any of the systems. Any sort of minor league, major league that isn't like esports franchise. That's a big thing. To have like Dota. Like if there's a minor in Dota, that could possibly happen, because that's but again, I don't think it's gonna probably happen that prominently anymore. Because yeah, people were worried about money. I think in society everybody cares about money because that's how you live your life. But I don't think anyone would take it that far anymore. Knowing that how it has improved in the last couple of years. So we're gonna kind of get off the esports topic here, and we're gonna talk about So let me go back to the question I found. There's been a number of hackers / people who are messed with IP addresses to get information in video games. How come there has been no judicial / government system that has done anything to decrease the amount of people doing this?
Because especially in nowadays, like with the technology we have. It's hard to actually keep pointing out who is the real hacker and who actually is actually making those hacks and finding information about video games, like you said. And it's just like it's hard because there's so many as well who actually they pop up every day. I don't know if the the law can catch up so quick with those people so they can be prosecuted and been told that no, this is wrong what you're doing, you know what I mean? Because also most of them are kids, if you know what I mean. They're not like adults. I don't think there will be an adult that would just come sit down and be like, yeah, let's see how I'm with Zero Cool and where's Angelina Jolie. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think there will be
Yeah.
like someone who is adult who sit down and that this will be his life, hacking stuff. And it should be prosecuted. It's like it's going back to the whole SWAT thing, yeah. It's the same, pretty much, almost the same, because how would you report like that person if you don't know his IP? It's the same situation, really, if you think about it. It's basically there should be more laws made for safety of everyone on online, offline, or whatever. Playing games, talking to people, whatever. There should be more laws that will help people make people safe online. Because nobody wants to just go online and just like, oh yeah, by the way, somebody just decided to click this link and or your computer will self-destruct in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's like
Now you know
stupid.
where you live. They know your name.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
A lot of times those are
It's
just location
it's
things. They're trying
it's
to
a
just
it's an invasion of privacy. You know, I don't want somebody knows where I live or what I do or whatever. Yeah, if I don't tell myself, you know. So,
What do you do in those situations? Like if you know someone who's about like I kind of experienced a lot. You know, a lot. Some people do this. Not I haven't met them in recently, but GTA 5, a lot of people did this. Well, again, that's a community that's not very clean. Um, what do you kind of do if someone is mentioning about IP and stuff and like finding location?
what would I do?
Yeah, well, if didn't like
What
if they
what
were
would
talking
I?
about it,
Well,
like would you
I
leave the
am
party or would you join them
I
or
know exactly what to do. I'm an Xbox ambassador for 7 years.
you just report his ass? You just call the cut. Yeah, makes
Yeah,
sense. Forgot about that.
because best thing you can do is just like mute, block, and report. Yeah, that's all you do.
Easy. I just leave the
And
party.
and no, of course you leave the party, then you you mute him so he cannot send you any messages, and then you block him and report him. And
Yeah, very easy.
and what will if that person comes to my house? Do you think I will just stay out there and be like, "Yo, how's it going?" You know what I mean? I wouldn't. I
I
have my full right to protect myself if that person is to cause me harm. So that's what I'm gonna do. You know, that's what I'm gonna do because at the end of the day, I, you know, that's what's happening. You know, if you try to come to my house and you try to threaten me in some way, that will be the last thing you're gonna do. You know, because
No, first thing, it's funny that you're trying to do that where you found me on Xbox. It's not like real life where there's a threat. You
yeah,
you did this because of playing video games.
yeah, exactly, exactly. It's like it's like that's what I'm gonna do.
It's just hilarious.
It is funny, it is because what did they gain from the whole situation?
Your
My
location.
question.
That's it. They
Okay,
don't get a lot.
and that's about it, right? And what did they make them? Did they go to school and be like, "Yo, I just hacked this guy. I know where he lives," and okay, brag about it in school, yeah, because there's nothing else that you have to brag about, I suppose. You know what I mean?
Actually,
It's
yeah.
like what did they gain? They get nothing.
Actually, they can. One thing I also want to explain that I had a situation like so. Again, I leave the party immediately a lot of times, but I had a situation where I was in this party, looking for group hosts, yeah, and sometimes they're trustworthy, sometimes they're not. I join, and then he tells me, "Oh, you want to see? I can. Hey, I know where you live. Hey, you want me to shut down your internet?" So, oh, bet. And then he shut down my internet from
Wow,
his little laptop. Yeah.
wow.
The good thing is it only went I don't know how long I think it just went off for like maybe like a couple minutes.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember if it went off like it turned off for 45 minutes or it went off for it turned off for a couple minutes. That was a long time ago, but like I think it went for like less than, I'm guessing it's like maybe less than a half hour, less than an hour.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Good thing is no one was
But
on.
what
I
did
was the only
you
one up at the time.
what did you
I
IPS
blocked him.
did about it? Like, not being funny, but like,
I don't know. I think he wanted to test something. I think
okay, yeah,
he just wanted to challenge me.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, stupid. So he can go out, go to school on the next day and be like, "Yo, guess what I did? I'm hacker now.
No, he was a
I'm zero
dog.
cool." You know what I mean? Like,
He's a no. I think he was a dog. I think he was pretty
so,
older. So I don't know. Probably guessing youngest was college. I don't think he was a teenager.
but that's what I mean. Either so. Like, why would you do that? Like, oh, to brag about it. Oh, okay, that's cool. How's your ego? Is it scratched already? Yeah, your ego is scratched enough for you to brag about that you did something to someone across the world somewhere. Good for you, sir. I hope you have a beautiful day, and next time try to hack me again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on, people. Really?
There's probably been
Really?
some people who've done that, just trying to rehack
That's what I
again.
mean. That's what I mean. But it's like it is stupid. It's just it just and that person should be prosecuted. Should be found and prosecuted. And that's why the I don't agree with the apparently the government is listening to everything I do on the internet, right? Situation, yeah. I don't agree with that, but it really bothers me, no? Because I don't do anything wrong on the internet. you know? Because
True.
it's been
Again,
like, a few things with the Facebook situation, with Mark Zuckerberg, NSA, all those organizations. But that's on the internet. How do I know if it's true or not? You know? I'm a
once it gets
simple
leaked to the
person.
news, yeah.
I just play games and I enjoy the community around me. That's what I do. I do nothing wrong.
Okay, so next question I have for you is, what do you think of the pay-to-win system video games that are highly competitive? Which, like, how this works. You have loot crates, supply drops, or,
Yeah.
you know, like any kind of system where you buy credits and you get upgrades on something that is drastic. What do you kind of think about that?
Um, that depends again on the game, right? So for League of Legends, for example, I think, or like a big esports kind of games, if you know what I mean, like that just I think it's wrong because I don't. Again, you gotta be. It should be if you're good at the game, you gain whatever levels, and you're just a good at the game, right? And I don't think it should be. Oh, by the way, mom, he's a my mom bought me this and this and gave me this card, so I can just jump in the game that I never played in my entire life against people who actually played for the past 5 years, and I would just be the best as they are. You know what I mean? That I think is wrong. Because I purchased this thing that gives me these skills, but I don't have to play till level 150 to get that skill. You know what I mean? It's stupid. But again, this is like a microtransaction, isn't it? So microtransactions are made to be, you know, to make money to the game companies that, put the like EA, for example. That was the worst. Like the EA
Oh yeah,
is the
those
worst
I
company
noticed them.
that does this. You know what I mean? From all the companies, EA is just the worst. You know.
Can I explain what that? Like, what has EA done?
Star Wars Battlefront
Mm,
2.
interesting.
When it came out, if you remember, there was a big scandal about the pay to win, basically, and microtransactions, and they were like they lost like lots of money from that game. Nobody bought the game. Everybody's like, nope, I'm not paying additional money for this game. It was about DLC and like new skins and all that. And after a while, EA was like, oh, we are really sorry. Now everything is free. Thank you. Basically, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh wow. So you just have to. You can't even lock shit, but you have to pay.
yeah,
Like you can't
yeah,
unlock some of the
yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah. Microtransactions. See.
I'm sorry. Um, I think yeah, that's really doesn't make any sense. Like overall, because again, Call of Duty had this problem in the past too, where they supply drops.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. But like, with Call of Duty is mostly code points, I suppose. You know what I mean? Like, and they're
yeah.
not that expensive. But with
No,
Star
you can
Wars, there
also
was.
earn them in game. You can also
Yeah,
like earn
you
them for
can
playing,
also earn them. Exactly, exactly, exactly.
but you paid money. You get like it was Advanced Warfare was the first game that released this. They had um, and the reason it was so awful is in like a competitive setting you couldn't use variant guns. It didn't matter if you're doing that, but and like in a pub setting, there are some guns that are really OP and they're variant based, but you can only unlock them through supply drops. And some people had these weapons, they were really good because there was one weapon, Battle 27 Obsidian Steed. That thing was like a warhorse. That thing just had everything you wanted, and you know that thing packed a punch. And you know it was hard. Good thing is I locked the gun early. I didn't buy any supply drop. I got it from a supply drop, but I didn't pay for it. I don't think I ever paid for a supply drop in that game. But other people who it was luck. It was RNG system. That's the thing. That's what pay to win is. Well, no, somewhat. That's one thing to pay to win. But that was a big thing. Supply drops were getting bought. Some people didn't get it. They got a lot of cosmetics. They didn't get the guns they want. It was that. It was really horrible. That, and then they introduced it into other games like Black Ops 3. They didn't have weapon variants. They just had different guns.
Yeah.
Just kind of unique guns that you can only get from that.
Yeah.
Infinite Warfare, they kind of had a similar thing, except you can actually buy it with like some scrap parts. So you can either get it for your supply drop, so that was not bad because
Black Ops was good as well that way. You know what I mean? Like the Black Ops 2 game, it was like that, right? So. They had a few crates.
They didn't have supply drops back in the day. They just had like DLC skins. They did have one weapon that was released via the DLC, but it wasn't that good. That was the Peacekeeper with the first DLC. That was kind of the only gun they had like after release, but otherwise they didn't have anything else. But then you go into these, and then kind of it stopped. We don't have supply drops this year.
Yeah.
Of any sort.
But yeah, with Star Wars Battlefront 2, it was way much more than that. If you know what I mean, like it was like that you have literally pay to win with microtransactions, and they failed really bad at that. And everybody was like, there was sued as far as I remember from some people because obviously what they did is basically they sold pay to win packages and stuff, yeah. And then they decided that, oh well, you don't have to do that, but thanks to the money, So a lot of people that pay to win got angry. They spend money.
Yeah,
they got
then
angry
they change it to a free system.
Yeah. So basically, they really made a lot of people angry, because they didn't think business-wise was, clever. I don't know who's thinking like this. Who's thinking like, oh yeah, by the way, thank you for the money, but now it's all free. Everybody can play it now for free. Like you can get all the stuff for free if you just play the game. It's like, wait a minute, who's your business manager? Can I be your business manager? Because like I don't think you guys do a great job, PSA. You know what I mean? Like your decisions just, your graveyard behind your office is probably quite deep because you burying yourself so many times. Same thing with with BioWare and Anthem. It runs on EA servers. I was invited for the VIP demo of Anthem.
For Anthem?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I heard that game.
Yeah. So I was invited to that. So guess how many times I played it when the demo was running?
0.
0. A 0 because EA servers were dead. Literally. So broken. Like you couldn't even like go into the game connection wise. You know what I mean? So that's why I couldn't even play the game as much as I wanted to. After all, it's like, it's a pre-game kind of situation.
Big game is sue people for money, like especially when Anthem released and they that was the demo. Good thing, it was free, but Imagine if like that happened when it first released and the servers didn't work.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and that actually happened, and that is actually happened. That is what actually happened. It's like the servers were not working on the first release, because I had the game as well on the first release, and that didn't work. It's like, okay,
That's
why
unfortunate.
would you why would you give me a game that doesn't work, please? Like, I know it's not your fault, but like, can I just like play a game, j- when it comes out? I know it's like, you need your patches and everything, but can I just like play it, see how bad it is? Just connect me to the thing that you actually have to connect me to, please, because that's how it runs. You know, it's mainly online. You know what I mean? So it's like, if I don't connect to the thing that you is supposed to provide me as a product and a service, how am I supposed to play your game?
Yeah, that makes sense. So
You
next
know?
question I have for you is
Yeah.
what? Yeah, that's you want a game that runs. Next question I have for you is what reasons do you think the gaming community has become more toxic and more privatized unlike before?
Privatize as in like from
I
people
kind of
privatize?
what I mean by that is just kind of peop noticeably in like less long time like I know how I want to say this like limited friends like
Ah, you mean like close people just talking between each other? Like a group of
I don't know how I
people?
want to say.
Like a
Actually, we'll
cliques
skip the
maybe?
privatized part. I'll mention the privatized part once I come up with it. But why do you think the community has become more toxic?
Oh, why? Well, because huh, toxic is from people. Not all the communities become more toxic. It's just some people who are trying to make it more toxic. There's a lot of people who like to troll people for no reason, and then they just like to cause like trouble between organizations, and like my console is bigger than your console, and like I said, for me, the community I have experienced in general have been very supportive. I always support community as well. I help as much as I can. I give, just, some people contacting me, um, and said, "Yo, I'm running out of game. I have no money to buy Game Pass." So I myself went to XO19, yeah, and I met Phil Spencer. I know the guys from Xbox, Aaron, Chris, all those big names that are in the Xbox community wise. I know them personally. They're friends of mine, and um, so I went there, and there was like a free stuff, like gives you like Game Pass, whatever, right? And I gave that guy like 6 months. I was like, yeah, dude, here you go. Have some fun. Here's Game Pass for you. You know. Yeah, see, we'll experience young people have been as long as we have in video games. Because they would not. I don't know what console you have grown up with, but my first
Xbox,
okay,
like
so
Xbox generation.
you had the cube and everything with the Duke and all, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so I grew up I'm a PC player, yeah, and I have grown up with a PC, and my first game I ever played was when I was 5 years old, the Castle Wolfenstein, and that was Doom, and you know, on and on and on, basically. But yeah, because people who have just been like, they're like in their teens now, like 16s, whatever, yeah, or young kids, or like some people even like who don't have anything else to do with their life. That's how they become toxic. Like, if you know what I mean, that they're just like, oh well, I have nothing else to do with my life, so can I just like go on the internet and just make sure that I express opinion that nobody will appreciate. Don't be toxic. Be supportive. Don't be the person that says, "Oh, I'm just gonna go there and just make sure that everybody hates me." Nobody wants to be hated. Be loved, Be part of the community. Help the community, you know. Be meet with the community. Keep in touch with the community, you know. And that way,
That's the thing that's kind of been not happening.
we all will be like, we all be happy at the end of the day, you know, and we all will be supportive, and the toxicity will go away on its own. It will clear the air, you know. I've seen a lot of
I think
people like,
sorry.
because I play games, I play all the games. Yeah, I play PlayStation, I play, I don't play it now, but like, if I had a chance, I would buy all the consoles and play all the consoles. Yeah? I wouldn't just play Xbox. Because I have friends from PlayStation, I have friends who play Nintendo Switch, PS VR, whatever, right? And Oculus, whatever, right? And they are very good friends of mine. You know, they're part of the gaming community. We are a gaming community. You know, that's why my name on Twitter is hashtag gamer not a hater, because that's what I do. I game. I don't hate. I game. That's all it is. And like I said, if you being toxic, well, that is your prerogative in life, and you will not succeed in any kind of situation life-wise. Because being toxic is just gonna make other people hate you till the rest of your life, and you would not be happy with that, and you'll be, all alone all your life if you're acting that way online, and how would you act offline? Yeah. So that's
True.
why I think that the community just needs to come together. Even I don't know if you watch EXO 19 stream. I was there. I was on the stream. I was on the mixer stream as well on the camera. I know. Um, and but even Phil Spencer said it. He's like, "Yo, what is this console wars, BS, and all that? Yeah, we're working all together. We are making games for everyone. The current game we're playing right now is a cross-platform game. Yeah, so
Yeah.
this is a community. Yeah, this is the community we're playing. We play this game and we all can play, no matter what console we have. And that's what Phil is trying to do. I don't know if have you ever met Phil Spencer?
Nope.
I
Because I
did.
haven't been.
I did. And he gave me a hug. I was super emotional. I cried. Because I was like, it meant so much to meet the person that created such a great community, Xbox community, gaming community, and it meant so much to me because I had about 2 years ago, I was on a virtual suicide, and if it wasn't for the Xbox community, I wouldn't be here now.
Hmm.
Depression is a real thing, and if you don't have a community that is there for you when you're going through your darkest moments in life, you wouldn't be, you wouldn't be around. You always need someone who is there to say, "Yo, things will get better. Don't give up." You know. So
True.
toxicity can be clean with great community, gaming community. Again, gamer, not a hater. That's who I am, and I also always will be. You know.
Um. So what I actually meant by the privatized thing is kind of like, um, how come like, this is gonna be based on my friends, but usually I just usually play with my friends from like high school and all that, but I do also play with people online for like looking for group posts.
Yeah.
So like they haven't been, but they don't like that. They just like they don't trust anyone outside their friend group. So how come they haven't like why the Xbox community hasn't been exploring like meeting other people who are not kind of close to you?
Because I think they
They
might have
still
had
they
a
play
bad
solo local.
experiences. That's
Yeah.
that's that's there is always a reason behind these kind of situations, you know. And if you had a bad experience with people that you have played online, how would you be able to trust someone that you have never met? You know?
Makes sense. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's a very big community. You're gonna have a split. You know, you're gonna have people who are really chilled. You know, don't
We're
have
all
anger.
different. We're all different. And we all have our way of expressing things online, offline, whatever, right? And you know, half of those people play just to play. And I have experienced a lot of people who's been hating a lot on when I play games with them or against them. Yeah? And again, it's so simple. Mute, block, report. You know. MBR. It's easy. You don't have to worry about anything after that. After that is in the enforcement scan. You know?
True.
Enforcement team will sort it out. You know? It's been instances where it's gone to that point of where enforcement people have banned Xbox IPs. Yeah? Because of those people. Because they've been toxic. And being, you know, just toxic as in like in general, you know. But this is their fault. Nobody else's fault it is. And that's why your friends maybe, you know, like you said, they don't trust anyone because they had a bad experience with people who are not worth it to be to give you attention to their hate and toxicity. Yeah? That's why. And I don't blame them, to be honest with you. You know? I don't blame them for feeling that way. They just need to find the right
Yeah.
people and be, you know, and play with the good community, the people who are supportive, you know, and open their eyes and say, yo, actually there is a community there, you know, who are actually supportive to all of us.
Next question I have for you is, why do you think the community has become more sensitive slash so this how I want to explain this was what do you mean by what I mean by become more sensitive is kind of like they can't handle jokes, they're too serious, you know, they can't take a laugh. Instead of being more open, can't handle jokes, like to have a fun time. So this is this is kind of gonna be kind of repeat. This is kind of like a repeat of what the
That is
toxicity
kind
statement
of
is.
yeah. I mean, some people can't, and some people can. Again, that comes down to the person that has grown up. You know, down to the person basically. Yeah, because if you've grown up in a very like environment where not you know your parents are like people who you know have values about respect and la 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 and all they're like super religious and thinks you or political or whatever, yeah. So that this is how the person would think, right? And they'll be like, this is not funny for me. Well, that is not funny for you, but it's funny for someone else. I'm sorry that you don't get the joke, but you know it's a joke. You know, if you don't take the
I think
joke,
yeah,
that is your
it
problem, not
doesn't matter.
mine. You know what I mean?
I
It's like
think
it's funny for me.
also yeah, that makes sense. Again, I think also with how competitive video games is and knowing this is gonna relate back to esports, which you know I was just thinking about it just now. I
Yeah,
think the more competitive the games get, there is less of a joke. Like just for example, like you're playing like a ranked, like you know you're playing like a ranked play. You know you put like just us. We're playing TDM. You know we're not taking this seriously. You know we can have fun, but if it's something
yeah,
like a lot more competitive that you know that has rank systems in there could be a lot more sensitivity about the person if that and also if that person isn't very competitive, just only worries about being better and better and better, it could really kind of cause that situation where
yeah.
they
But
only
that
they only they
person
don't want to sorry,
would be a
you can go.
professional player who makes money out of this. That's why they would
Yeah,
not take a joke. You know what I mean? This is their job. This is their livelihood. You know, if you are like if you're making this because you playing this because you're a pro, you shouldn't. You know, it will make you feel bad, and it will make you feel like, oh, this is not funny. Of course it will, because it threatens their
Actually,
livelihood, you know?
actually, I kind of meant for those players who are coming in, like who are blowing. I'm not mean about the actual pro players,
Ah,
but
okay.
like some.
You
That
mean
meant the
like some...
Xbox, like the community, like the regular community.
Uh,
I think the
well,
reason that could be a play effect is, I don't want to say. Yeah, there's the more serious likelihood, but I think um again, it's competitive, and if they compete in more and more competitive games, they are more competitive. The more competitive the person is, they're not going to change their lifestyle. They're just going to worry about getting better. They're not going to have fun with friends and all that. It just, again, it matters on what your passion is with gaming. Do you want to get better? Do you want to be good at a video game, or do you just want to have fun and all that?
exactly. I mean, that's it. It's like in the end of the day, I have witnessed in our local game shop that kids who should not be on this video game because they're too young for it, mommy and daddy have been buying them games that are 18 plus. Yeah, because
Hmm.
their friends in school have that game. You know what I mean? It's so wrong. It's clearly states 18 plus. You know, it's down to the responsibility of that parent. Yeah, to make sure that their kid is, if you buy a game that is competitive like Call of Duty is, right, or Overwatch or whatever, right, and you buy for your
Hmm.
kid, you gotta teach your kid the values of respect before you buy that game for them. Yeah, and
Yeah,
the
I
values
think kind of goes with both sides.
yeah,
Okay.
and you gotta teach them that there will be people or there will be adults on those games that are actually 18 plus, and they will probably make jokes and whatever, right? And you gotta tell your kid that you're buying the game for that if you have any issues with the things you don't understand online, come and ask me, and I will try to explain you. Yeah, that's about it. Because kids would not understand Panther, would they? You know,
No.
we all talk about different things in life. And how would a 14 years old kid that never heard words like people say on the internet will understand what you mean? And they will take offense, you know? And they will be like, oh, you know, like being toxic about it after. Of course they would, because they don't understand it. If you don't understand something, you would just make sure that it's not for you. It will be wrong, right? If you don't understand it,
Hmm.
for you will be wrong. So that is, you know, for you won't be funny. It will be weird. You know, it will be toxic because you don't understand it.
Yeah, I think I kind of go back on like the last question on this one. I think again, the, just kind of where the community is. I think also we're gonna go back on the last question, what you said. I think with you mentioned about age and all that. There's a lot of kids playing games that they shouldn't be playing based on
Yeah,
what it reads on the label. Like I like right now. I can play this game because I'm old enough.
yeah,
But there's a lot of kids who are playing this game. Well, again, you can play this game also because again, you can go download it online. You have the privilege to download it online. You don't have to go to the store and get it anymore. That's been a
yeah,
big thing that's been proven. So they go and they tell them this. They'll play the game. Blah 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 blah. And then they get in this community. They learn a lot of stuff from the adults that have been really bad mannered. They follow again kids
yeah,
who are like to follow stuff. They don't, they're not gonna take it their own lane. Like figure it's bad or not. So
yeah,
they do that, and boom, they turn this kid. They turn this kid who wants to troll, who wants to screw around, who takes everything too seriously, who wants to say swearing words. That's the case that happens, and then it leads to more. Then it leads to more of the friends being like how he acts, and
yeah.
then boom, you have a toxic gaming community right there,
There you
because
go.
of the adults that kind of developed that for them. Um, I think just I think the big thing in that the toxic community, I think it's just kind of the competitive standpoint, just how people are so competitive. They always want to be better than the next person, and then that leads to more more issues in cases. But hopefully it does improve in the future. So the last question I have for you before we get to the closing topic question is there gender equality in the video game community?
There should be more female gamers than male gamers, basically. And they've been coming up. I have seen and I have a lot of friends in the gaming community that they, from the female side, that that are very good gamers, you know. But I think there should be more female gamers as well involved, and there shouldn't be any, oh, the male population is much bigger. Of course, it's much bigger because back in the day, I haven't seen any girl gamers. When I was a kid, I haven't had any friends who are girls gamers. We're all male gamers, you know. But I think there should be more female gamers and pros and people involved in the gaming community, because I have lots of friends who are streamers, big streamers, small streamers, all kind of streamers, right? And in the community who play games. So, but I think it should be more female. Yes.
What do you think is the reason why we haven't seen you rarely see a female population online? Like usually,
Because I
like
don't
what
know,
reasons?
because maybe because when as a child you would be, if you're a female you'll be next to your mom, you'll be helping in the kitchen, you will have like all the girly stuff, you wouldn't be like it wouldn't be like you just like, you know you be go out with your brothers and play video games in the local computers place, right? You just be, you will be next to your mom, and your mom will be teaching you different values as a kid, as a female kid. I suppose that's what's happening, My mom grew up with 6 sisters, She never know what video games are, you know. But obviously back in her day there was no video games, and even nowadays she doesn't want to know what video games are. She knows what they are, but she never interested in them. And when she was growing up, she wasn't, she was there was a PC games and all that. So, but that's what I mean. It's just like I think the values taught at home by your mom, parents, whatever, right? I think that's one of the reasons. The way you've grown up in the environment you have grown up in. If your parents were interested in video games when you were growing up, you know, maybe they will have teach you how to play video games. But with me, I have taught myself how to play video games. Actually, video games actually helped me to learn English. I'm Bulgarian, like I said. I was 5 years old back in the day. You have Microsoft DOS. If you don't know how to type things in English, you cannot play video games. On a console. Back then, you have to type everything. And everything was in English. So if you don't know how to do that, you're not playing games, basically. So that's what I think. But I'm very happy to see a lot of female streamers, and I'm very happy to see that people still play games, and there's more female scene of gamers is coming out in the community. It's great. There's a lot of mixer partners. There's a lot of Twitch partners who are, great gamers from the female side and gender-wise.
I'm gonna be more with inequality. I think, yeah, there's been an increase in there's been a big increase, but I think, in my experience, if I do I don't I barely it's rare when besides if they mention it, it's rare to find a female game on the Xbox side for looking for your posts or anything like that by other means. I feel like there's inequality because of how the community, like just we mentioned how toxic the community is. They
Yeah.
don't. They treat and I did a full episode on this talking about the female games perspective where there's a lot. I think there's horny. I don't know how I want to say this again. But they treat females differently. Like they don't treat them like how me and you how guys usually talk. This fine
Yeah.
trash talk, but there's nothing involving body parts, nothing involving having sex, nothing involving can I date you and all that. Nothing involving oh you're just a girl gamer, okay, you just suck. Like that hasn't that that's not common. That's not common where you're calling out a gender for being bad.
Yeah.
For like just like from male side, just you're just bad. That's what I'd say. But they have to include that female part in there. Like that girl, you're just a girl. You just you can't do this and that. It's like
Yeah, but that is so wrong.
you,
You that is so wrong because like they're not piece of meat. They're human. They like to play games. Why not? What is wrong with that? You know, you don't have to treat him as like a piece of meat when you see him online. You know, I don't think it's respectful to treat as a piece. Like, basically, a lot do that, but no guys out of
yeah, like the moves over here and just kind of again we barely see them like talk like it's rare to see them unless you specifically find them looking for reposts and like all that.
yeah.
They just again even they play online, but they don't usually like they're not. I don't know. No mind. We're gonna kind of forget about that because I'm not knowing what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
that's okay, buddy. That's okay.
I don't know what I'm trying to get on there, but we just barely.
I know what you mean.
It's
It's
more
like
common
it's
to
like
find a male.
a
It's
lot
rare to find a
a lot
female.
of males, a lot of males, like I said, they're young, you know. And of course, when they hear female voice, what would be the first thing they do think about?
Sex, horniness,
Exactly,
date.
exactly. Because they're young, you know, and that's why they would never they would never like grow to a point of where they're like, oh, that is wrong what I'm doing right now. You know what I mean? Because they in their
Mhm.
heads, it's totally different situation.
Sure. So that's gonna kind of be talking about the toxic, like just kind of the dark side of gaming. So the last thing I have used closing topic question. This is also gonna kind of focus on, you mentioning your Xbox Caster. You try to help the community out as much as possible, even through whatever bullshit you kind of deal through every time. Even for
Yeah,
all the toxicity that you have occurred throughout your time gaming, how have you tried to make that game experience as peaceful as possible for yourself and for the game community?
of course. I mean, I always, I always help community. Okay, so my friend in Canada, no, in Canada, sorry, he's from the States. I don't know if you have seen it around. I've been sharing the tweet and everything. He lost his home due to electrical fire in his garage. And that happened just a month before Christmas, basically, before like December kind of thing. And I made him a GoFundMe page, yeah. And we raised enough money so he can. I sent him $200, in total. We raised less than that, but I topped it up myself, and I sent him $200. And man, it was like it's really hard moment when you lose your home, and you have 3 kids. You know what I mean? Family of 5.
Yeah, very
So,
good.
so I even if I experience toxicity towards me, I always go to that person and say, "Yo, what's up? You know, tell me what's going on because this is what you're writing is not right." You know, and always go and try to make sure that if I have done something wrong, I will always back it up and always be like, I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen again. This is what I have done. I learned my lesson. Okay, all good, you know. And if those people continue, like poking and like, keep being toxic about it, That will be blocked and report. It works for everything. It doesn't matter if you're on Twitter or video games. It works for everything, you know. Because I have no time for toxicity. I have time for community. I don't have time for toxicity,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah, I think like you try to help out, like even like like you try to get more innovative with like try to learn more about your gamer, like the game population that cares about
Exactly.
a positive experience. Like
Exactly.
even not inside, not in game, but you do it out of game too.
Exactly. Exactly.
I don't know how I try to do this, but I think just again, I do the same thing. MB, I just do M and B. I don't do the MBR. I don't do the R part of just mute and block them. But I
Yeah.
try to just make it as clean as possible, making sure like I play a lot of competitive games. I'm very competitive, but I try not to get into everybody's head. Like all of us, we try to make ourselves better. We don't try to, I might criticize, but I'm not trying to harm you in any way. I'm just trying to make, we trying to work towards a
It's
certain
called
goal.
constructive criticism. If you don't take it,
Yeah,
how would you learn that there's more to life?
yeah,
You know?
and I
How
think
would you
that's another
learn?
thing with the, yeah, I think that's another thing with the toxicity part is just people, just not taking constructive criticism real
Yeah.
like appropriately than it
Yeah.
should be.
Exactly.
But again, I try to just keep it as clean as possible. I'm gonna swear, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna have arguments, but I try not to like I'm not trying to like make
To
we're trying to
put more
be
oil in
I'm
the
not
fire.
the goal is to not block
Exactly.
you. You know,
Exactly.
just calm down, let's work this out together. We can do this, no excuses, don't argue with me. Let's just if we lose, we lose. We don't need to yell at each other all the
Exactly.
time.
Exactly.
So well, thanks for joining me on the show this morning.
Hey, thank you for inviting
Uh,
me, dude. It's been a pleasure.
do you want to give any shout outs before we end it off?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the people who actually have helped me, the Xbox ambassadors. Um, from the community, there's like you can find me on Twitter. I'm always on Twitter. I don't stream. I want to start streaming as well at some point, but yeah, you can find me on Twitter, PsychoUK Nas666. I want to give a shout out to my forking crew in a Fork Nation. I'm not part of the crew. I've never been part of the crew. I just support that streamer. His name is Forkboy. He does Twitch streams. So if you guys want to go check it out, and I wanna give a shout to you for inviting me over. It's been a pleasure. This is my first podcast. Like I said, I've never been invited to anything else because I've been, but obviously I'm working all the time, so I can't due to
Yeah.
time difference. So, but yeah, Xbox community, stay strong. Merry Christmas, everyone, and just be a gamers. Be a gamer, not a hater. Thank you.
Well, I might as well. I'm gonna end off on that comment because you kind of. Well, have a great Christmas, Psycho, and we're gonna end off the stream here. Thanks for anyone who's gonna watch. I don't have zero. Thanks for anyone who's watched. Um,
Yeah, thank you
and
all.
this is gonna be the last show before Christmas. So anyone who's gonna watch this in the future, well, have a great Christmas and have a great life. Bye.